Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you all on this fantastic series, Wow, Women on Wednesday, where every time we call a new speaker, women speaker. So today, again, is a thought provoking session. We have come up with another interesting session on sustainable environment and business responsibility. I welcome you all. And before moving further, I request from backend team to please play a ICI motto and requesting everybody to please place your hand on your heart.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you. We all will agree that in today's world, sustainability is now no longer a buzzword. It's a imperative, I can say. So whether we talk about climate change or responsible consumption or ethical governance, each of these themes remind us that businesses are not just economic entities now. Now they are also stewards of our planet and society. So everybody is putting more emphasis that we should consider first planet, then people, and then profit. So the overall scenario has been changed now. Now we are more focused towards our planet. So as professional, or we can say as a change maker, we all have a role to play in environmental responsibility, and to help us in more understand and better way, we have with us very eminent personality and speaker Payal Jain with us. Payal, I welcome you at the
Thank you,
platform
ma'am.
of WIRC. It's really our pleasure and privilege to have you. I'm sure with the rich knowledge you have, our participant will be benefited. So in our today's session, I'm sure you will walk us through real world example with the case studies, challenges, and the solution around building environmentally responsible businesses that are now not just complaint but conscious and committed also. So with not taking much of anyone's time, I'll request to Nasha Rana to please introduce our today's faculty.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I will be introducing the speaker for today's session, that is CA Payal Jain ma'am. I'll begin with her qualifications. She is, of course, a chartered accountant with an MCOM degree. She has a lot of certifications. So she's certified in sustainability and BRSR reporting, which will probably be the highlight of today's session. She is also a certified peer reviewer, goods and service tax professional, concurrent auditor, and she has a certified degree in cooperative societies and trusts auditor. She is also a diploma holder in the genealogy conducted by Adinath Jain Trust, and she is a winner of the India 5000 Women Achievers Award of 2021. I'll give a brief overview on ma'am. Some of the details are as she's a forward thinker and a self-motivated practicing chartered accountant. She is handling the Bhilai branch of the firm as a head partner since 2009 and hands-on experience in sustainability reporting, due diligence, indirect tax, tax audits, statutory and internal audit of companies, accounting of foreign entities, etc. Prior to that, ma'am was working at the post of the senior manager in Idea Cellular Limited from 2007 to 2008, wherein she handled the MIS of Pune branch. She also did her articleship from GD Apte firm in Pune from 2004 to 2007. I would also like to list down some of her achievements and interests. She was a moderator in the World Forum of Accountants 2025's international conference held at Yashobhumi, Delhi. Sikasa chairperson of Bhilai branch of the ICAI for the year 2024-2025. She was the first women chairperson of any branch in the state of Chhattisgarh of Bhilai branch of ICAI for the year 2023 to 2024. She was the vice chairman of Bhilai branch of ICAI for the year 22 to 23. She was a joint secretary of Jain Chartered Accountants Federation Chhattisgarh chapter for the year 22 to 23. On Industry Advisory Board of Department of Commerce of Sanjay Gupta Group of Institutions since April 2022. She's a member of NGO Rishikesh Education Society since September 2022 to 2023. She is the state vice president of NGO Helping Hands Club Chhattisgarh chapter since March 2020. She's also the chairperson, Women's Steering Committee Bhilai branch in the calendar year 2012, 2014, and 2019. She's the co-opted member of Sikasa Bhilai branch in calendar year 2015, co-opted member of Women Empowerment Committee of CIRC ICI in the calendar year 2014. She is an examiner of business laws, ethics and communication for IPCC and final since November 2016. She has organized and arranged various professional seminars and cultural activities in Bhilai branch of CIRC 5CI. She has been a guest speaker for general management, communication skills, and other ICAI courses for students in Bhilai branch of CIRC of ICAI. She is the Udan Queen runner-up in JCI Nagpur zone in the year 2017. Actively participated in pandemic redressal under the Aegis ICAI task force. She is a member of Women Empowerment Committee task force at state level of ICAI since August 2021. Her success story was published on Women Empowerment web portal of ICAI in the year August 2021. She stood first in Amravati Division Board in class 12th. Sharing some brief details of her work experiences as well. Sustainability reporting is an area of interest that she has been working on in the past few years. Her main area of practice is indirect tax laws. She has been focused on GST since its inception and implementation. She has implemented it for many clients. She has rendered advisory, compliance planning, and audit for corporate and non-corporate clients for a large spectrum of services and industrial sectors, specifically for GST. She has a wide experience of more than a decade in the area of concurrent audit of banks and cooperative societies. She handles independently internal audits of Maharatna companies, public limited companies, statutory and tax audits of private limited companies, partnership firms, and individuals. She delivers lectures at seminars, certified courses organized by ICI and other educational institutions in this region. On a personal front, some of her hobbies are reading, content writing for websites, editing for stories published on social media platforms. We are happy to have CA Payal Jain with us today and are looking forward to an insightful session on sustainable environment and business responsibilities. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nasha, for such kind words and such a detailed, what I should say, a detailed profile reading about me. I'm really grateful for portraying so many achievements. Rather, I think I forgot some of mine, but you made me remind about that. Thank you so much. I thank WIRC for giving me this opportunity and CA Shweta Jain, ma'am. Thank you for being with us today. This is really a curated series and does definitely helps women for enhancing their skills and their speaking capabilities and giving them confidence. Wonderful thing it is. So it's really a pleasure for me to be here today, and I guess I'll just share my PPT so that we can go ahead with it.
I'll be off, Nasha, so you please continue.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Shweta.
Thank you, Soja, ma'am.
Is my screen available?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. So, to we as chartered accountants are just a moment. Huh. So we as chartered accountants are known for our financial integrity, but now our influence is expanding. We now stand at the intersection of business ethics, regulatory compliance, and sustainability. So today's session, we would try to explore that how the finance professionals can now be the catalyst for the change that is happening all over the world, and India being underdeveloped in this area, but trying to develop soon. Here's a quick look of our roadmap for today. We'll start with very basics like to what sustainability and ESG mean. Then we shall delve into business responsibility, current trends, our role as chartered accountants, CA the regulations, the reporting standards. We shall also take some case studies, real life case studies, in fact. And then finally, we shall also look into the tools that we need to walk this path through. Sustainability today is not a corporate buzzword, very rightly said by CA Shweta ji. It is actually the answer to rising climate events, disappearing ecosystems, and widening social inequalities. As we go through our presentation today, we'll understand that sustainability is no longer only confided to environment, but it has lot many key areas and has a very broader concept. And we as CAs are uniquely placed to bridge the financial and ethical dimensions of business. Actually, we have the three T's. We have the tools, we have the training, and we have the trust to ensure that the financial and the non-financial performances are aligned and transparent for any entity, whether it's reporting ESG metrics or advising clients on ethical practices or considering the community development or the welfare or the employee welfare. Our role is really pivotal. And I'm glad that WIRC's WOW series, curated by WIRC chairman and the other RCNs, is not just about compliance or accounting. It's about empowering us to lead future ready, to become the value driven initiative. So let's dive into why sustainability is not just necessary, but it is urgent. So, what is sustainable environment actually? In a very layman language, if we say sustainable environment means meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own. That means that you use the resources available today in such a way that they are not extinct like a dinosaur for the future generations. And in fact, we, like with water conservation or water recycling, we generate more and more resources which are about to be extinct. Then again, here I would like to, bring your attention to that sustainable environment. Though it says environment, the word environment, it is not confined only to the environment. It has three key areas, such as which are commonly known as ESG, and it stands for environmental, social, and governance of any entity. The how that entity impacts the environmental solutions, how it affects the social environment that is around it, and how it also governs within. So let us look into environment, these three factors a little bit in detail. Environmental factors look at how a entity impacts the planet. It also includes reducing carbon footprints, managing waste, conserving water. It also focuses on energy consumption. controlling pollution, tackling climatic changes, then waste management, how you reuse, recycle, all these things comes under the environmental factors of sustainable environment. Then we have the social factors. So by social you mean people that are related to this entity, not only employees but also the stakeholders, the community, the customers, all these things, all the human uh, things that are connected to the entity in any way comes under social factors. So here it thinks about employee well-being, fair wages, community welfare and development. The importance under social factors is also given to human rights, child and forced labor, health and safety of stakeholders. All this comes under the social factor for sustainable environment. Then we come to governance part. So governance part addresses how the entity is run. Is it transparent? Is it ethical? Is it accountable for its own deeds that are impacting the environment around it? Environment, by your environment I do not mean only the planet but also the the environment inside the entity, for the employees, for the customers, then how it is affecting, how it is accountable to the community. This may or must also include the quality of management that is there for the entity, the independence of the board, then mitigating conflicts of interest within the board. Is there also diversity in the board, like are there women and male and female people in the board itself or in the management itself? So here the triple bottom line, that is for ESG, environmental, social and governance factors, encourages businesses to focus not only on profit but also on social equity and environmental stewardship. This total together implies for sustainable environment. I hope I'm clear over here. Anywhere if you need anything, just raise your hand and I'll make it more detailed. So we as chartered accountants must evaluate all these three pillars when we are reviewing or advising an organization. Now, here again, I would like to mention that your entity is under the mandate of SEBI or not, but you should, keep on advising your client about sustainable environment, because now down the line 2 or 3 years it is like, since India is coping with global environment, it is for sure that we are going to be at par for sustainable environment. Even the SEBI has started, making it mandatory for the supply chains or the vendors. Then even the small unlisted companies, SEBI is saying that you follow the format of BRSR light. So that is why it is always, as chartered accountants, it is always good that we advise, evaluate all these three pillars, ESG, for any organization that we are going for financial audits. We have to keep this in mind and imbibe in the minds of the organization also that profits and purpose are not mutually exclusive. Now the organization should so work that it should go beyond profits. The purpose here of yes, profits, earning profits is the most important, had been the most important part of any organization, but now it should have a purpose behind it. The purpose that you are not harming the environment, you are not harming the employees that are working with you, you are not harming the customers, you are not harming the community, you are abiding by the laws, you are abiding by the governance. So all this purpose should also be there along with the profits. And we as chartered accountants must consider energy use, human rights, board ethics, and long-term resilience, not just short-term profits. Then coming to business responsibility. Business responsibility today means contributing positively to the society. Business responsibility, as I already said, goes beyond profits and shareholders. It's about operating ethically, how you are contributing to the economy, respecting human rights, and minimizing to the most the harm that is happening to the environment. When you say business responsibility towards being a sustainable in a sustainable environment, normally people correlate it or equate it with corporate social responsibility. So again, keep this in your mind that corporate social responsibility is just one part of business responsibility. It is not the whole. It is not the whole circle. CSR is, yes, it is an important part, but it is just a part of business responsibility. Business responsibility goes much deeper into it. It's about embedding ethical practices, compliance, and sustainability into the core business strategy. That means not just doing good for the PR, but aligning purpose with profit. As I said, the purpose and profit are not mutually exclusive. They should be aligned together. There should be transparent governance. There should be legal adherence and a long term view of stakeholders' interest. These are the cornerstones of true business responsibility. So when you have such kind of businesses, it automatically builds trust, it stays resilient, and often it outperforms a business responsibility. A business that is responsible towards sustainable environment normally outperforms to its peers. Like way down when I was in Idea Cellular in 2007, the ABG group had a policy that it used to give paid holidays to their employees on their birthdays and their anniversaries, and rather even on the birthdays of their children. So this was a very good initiative that they had taken to keep their employees happy. So this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, that it is not only how how you're not cutting trees, or how you're not how you are conserving water, or how you're managing waste, how you're not dumping into the dumping things into the dump yards. And it's not only about the planet, it is also about people. So here the ABG group, when I was working with them, they had such a nice policy for their employees. Even the salary structure was so made, it was curated so nicely that it used to have more and more salary in hand for the employees there. So it there was a sustainable kind of place. Employees used to be very happy, and since they were very happy, they used to be working more for the benefit of the organization. Plus they were getting sustained. They were not leaving very fast, they were not hopping. In fact, the we were like 15 people who had joined together that time, and out of 15, even now there are 8 people who are still there with ABG group for almost it's been like 20 years, and they are still with ABG group. So this shows how you keep your employees happy and you keep them attached to your organization. So as stakeholders grow now, this is one place that I had told about. Similarly, when the stakeholders grow more conscious, the responsible business practices become a core expectation, not an option. Now the stakeholders have become very conscious. They want such brands which are ethical, which are more aligned towards environmental sustainability, which are more organic. This kind of stakeholders we have. So now that they are conscious, creating such business practices is really really very important now. Moving on to next, why this matters now. Why now? Because the earth has been there since millions and millions of years over here. The businesses has been there for quite a lot of time. Then why suddenly all this talk about sustainable environment, about sustainability, about ESG? Why suddenly everyone is talking about this sustainable environment? The reason being, we are in the middle of climate crisis. There has now that if we do not get conscious about our climate, and we do not conserve it properly, let alone about the future generations. Even we are facing so many natural disasters, so we are in the middle of climate crisis. There is also pressure about regulatory compliances that are going around the world, not only in India. India is just, as I was just talking to Shweta ji over here before joining here, that India is an underdeveloped country in this sustainable environment area, but the world is talking about sustainable environment since, I should say, a decade around. So there is also regulatory pressure on us as well as on the entities. Then investors are now demanding for transparency. ESG investing is also growing. Then funds are increasing. Allied funds are increasing. Therefore, now this is becoming what do you say? It's in the regulation that now it's becoming a routine. Down the line, 2 or 3 years, this would be as routine as your audits that you are conducting, the financial audits that you are conducting. Sustainable environment and ESG would be very common on everyone. People would be talking about it. People would be wanting to have a sustainable environment in every entity. So ESG in investing is again not a buzzword. It's a fast growing segment globally. Companies that are not adapting are being left behind. And ignoring ESG is not an option anymore. It is definitely a strategic risk that you would be facing. Let us see why climate urgency. Like natural disasters are happening, and when the natural disasters are happening, they are definitely disrupting our supply chains. Let me tell you with this with an example. Like if you are a tea manufacturer, say in Mumbai, and your raw materials comes all the way through Assam, there is sudden flood in Assam, and your delivery is being delayed by say 1 month because of the flood impact. So then definitely your manufacturing is delayed, your delivery to your customers, to your wholesalers, to your stakeholders is disrupted, and then definitely your profit goes down. So this is the way that the climatic natural disasters are disrupting our supply chains. A very basic example that I have laid over here, but then I suppose it clarifies how the supply chains disrupting is done through climate conditions. The present alarming statistics or charts that are showing rising global temperatures, frequency of natural disasters, or resource scarcity, all of it shows that how the climatic conditions are changing very widely and how they are affecting your businesses. It definitely relates you to the business risks. Coming to investors, investors are slowly and gradually focusing on the sustainable environment. We have a very good example of the institutional investors like BlackRock. BlackRock normally prioritizes ESG metrics. They invest in such entities only wherein they are sustainability complied, or they are ESG complied. They are following ethical practices. They are having a good non-financial data that is put up in their statements. And the mind me, the ESG focused funds are growing rapidly. They are growing like cats and dogs. And the entities who can encash such funds, they would definitely prosper like anything. Then of course there is also regulatory push in India. SEBI has made it mandatory for top 1000 listed companies to file their reports in the BRSR format. This we would be taking slightly in the further slides. I would tell it about in detail, but here let me mention that it started with 100 companies, wherein SEBI had mandated 100 companies to file their BRSR formats in reports. But now it has come to 1000, and slowly and gradually, not slowly and gradually rather, but rapidly, this would be applied to other entities also, the unlisted companies are also, the unlisted entities also, the supply chains, they have already, there is a buzz that these supply chains, it would be mandatory for the supply, by 2026, even the supply chains would come into the mandatory purview. Supply chains, by supply chains, I mean the vendors who are selling their material, or they are somewhere or they connected to these 1000 companies. By doing this all, India is also pushing itself to align with global frameworks like IFRS S1 and S2. These all we will be taking in the further slides. The, Now the consumer behavior. Consumers, as I said, are also favoring sustainable brands. While you are going in a like you are going in DMart, you would definitely want to have such, but you definitely look into organic things. You definitely look into such brands which are, more sustainable, or which have signs on it that they have lesser harm to the, while you are purchasing cosmetics, you would see that there is no harm done to the animals. So the consumer behavior is now changing towards more sustainable brands. We can see that the millennials and the Gen Zs are definitely demanding ethical brands. And a good ESG record can definitely drive, if your entity have a very good ESG record, you have a very good sustainable environment, and you market about it, it can definitely drive sales. It would have loyalty of the customers and the brand preference also. ESG investing also leads to growth. So if you have, as I already spoke about it, when you have good investors, who definitely your organization would be prospering more. Where we stand, where the chartered accountants have their roles into all this, because we are, from our inception, we are known for our financials, we are known as number crunchers. Then why suddenly we can, shift to, how can we suddenly shift to the non financial part of an entity? Here I would like to tell you that we are not just the number crunchers. We are actually the advisors to our client, and our client trust on us the same way they trust the doctors. So till now they were trusting us on their finances for us, right? But tell me, when you go for an auditing to a manufacturing unit, say, don't you tell your staff or your articles or your employees that look into their operations also, understand what is going on in their plant, or do understand how the operational HR part is going on, or how the marketing is going on? So though we are, not placing this all data in our financial reports, but we are somewhere connected to all the departments that an organization is running. We understand both the operational and the financial sides of a business. Only that is now needed is we integrate these both the parts. So this is all that is needed. It's nothing like you don't know anything. You know everything. Only thing is that you have to place this now in your financial statement. So we play a crucial and pivotal role in, while reporting these sustainable things, while advising our clients about sustainable environment, or about ESG, about BRSR reporting. So that this is the reason, because we know the operational parts also, and we know the financial sides of the business also. We are just the bridge now we have to become the bridge between the two. So this makes us uniquely positioned to lead in ESG reporting, the sustainable assurance, and the ethical governance also. From advising on green investments to identifying ESG risk, we play a central role in driving responsible and resilient business, and we can be the bridge between, as I said, we are a bridge between the financial and the non-financial part. We are also, we can become a very good bridge, a very good curator between the policies that needs to be implemented. So we can be a bridge between the policy as well as the implementation. how can we, assist our entities? We can assist them in the compliance and governance, in the ESG audits, in the risk advisory, in the integrated reporting. Now, the compliance and governance, chartered accountant, we are known for the compliances. We comply everything. We do not. We may forget the birthdays and anniversaries of our family members, but we would never forget the due dates of any return filings of GST, of ROC, of MCA, of income tax. They are just there on the tip of our mouths. So we are known for the compliances, we are known for the governances, we know the laws so well. So that is why, again, we can ensure adherence to BRSR reporting, to the CSR rules that are applicable. We would be discussing all this in our further slides. What is BRSR reporting? What is CSR thresholds? Then we also, can be a good advisory for ESG laws. Actually, we can shape the internal controls in a way for any organization so that they can include the ESG dimensions also. Chartered accountants are equipped to conduct the third party verification of ESG data, ensuring that the companies avoid greenwashing. Now, what is greenwashing is? Greenwashing is where the companies, they show off in a way that they are sustainable compliant, they are ESG compliant, but actually they are not. There are certain scandals. While we take the case studies, I will be discussing about that. So we can be, we can ensure that entities avoid kind of greenwashing. And ESG audit is now as popular as your tax audit or your internal audit or your statutory audit. We can be the risk advisories also. We can help businesses quantify climate risk or operational risk that may, come up due to the social unrest. We can, we can अंडरस्टैंड दैम. हम लोग वो आगे से आगे हम लोग वो चीज समझ सकते हैं कि बिकॉज ऑफ दीज क्लाइमेटिक रिस्क और द ऑपरेशनल रिस्क द they can be erupted due to the social unrest. Like if there is a strike in the company, how it would affect your profits, but how again it would affect the reputation of your company. So the profit part is the financial audit, but the reputation part is the non-financial part. So we can be a good risk advisories. Then, as I talked about integrated reporting, we just have to integrate the financials and the non-financial. So CAs can help companies integrate financials and non-financial disclosures. This can be aligned with the various frameworks that are available for reporting the sustainable environment. Our core strength in assurance and governance can be applied directly to sustainability. We bridge the gap actually between the numbers and the values. We don't just prepare balance sheets actually anymore. We are not the balance sheet preparers now, but we shape the sustainable narratives. Now, let us look into the regulatory framework that are available in India. So, as we were discussing, SEBI has mandated the first 1,000 top 1,000 listed companies to report in the BRSR format. Then, so understanding BRSR is very important here. In India, BRSR implies business responsibility and sustainability report. This has started from financial year 2022-23. Actually, as I said, that it started with 100 companies only. At that time, there was older BRR format, and now BRSR format is it is the next version of BRR, and it is far more detailed also. It actually consists of three sections: the general disclosures, the management and process disclosures, and the principal wise performances. These three sections are actually dependent. They have their base into NGRBC's 9 principles. So NGRBC's actually is National Guidelines on Responsible Business Conduct. This has been provided by MCA, and the BRSR reporting is totally based on these 9 principles that are laid down in the NGRBC. Just a moment. Excuse me. So the 9 principles of NGRBC, it covers the ethics, it covers the employee well-being, it covers the sustainability of resources and inclusive development of the community. BRSR actually enhances transparency. It supports the ESG aligned investment decisions and promotes responsible corporate behavior. SEBI actually is now encouraging its gradual adoption, as I said, by smaller and the unlisted companies also. It is saying that you don't, though you are not in the format of BRSR, but you can definitely adopt the simplified BRSR light format, and you can get prepared yourself for the future, because definitely it is by this, by recommending the unlisted companies or the smaller companies to go through the simplified BRSR light format, it is signaling that a broader shift would be there towards sustainability. And down the line, in 3 to 5 years, as the world has adopted it for every entity, same way India would also be adopting it for every entity that is there in. I already mentioned previously that by 2026, the supply chains would come into the mandatory provisions. Now, talking about CSR, Section 135 of the Companies Act says that if your company meets certain thresholds, it must form a CSR committee and spend at least 2% of the average net profits that you have earned in the last 3 years on the eligible activities that are listed in the Schedule 7. There are around 9 activities that are mentioned in Schedule 7 of the Companies Act, but it's not necessary. They are recommendatory ones. It's not necessary that you have to go into that, you have to fit into those 9 activities only. You can go beyond that also, but it should be, for the community, for the development. Like this Tata Group had been doing a lot of community welfare development programs. Infosys has been doing a lot of community with, with the different NGOs and the government agencies. They had been giving away cooktops and the stoves to in the rural India, so that they shift from those traditional chulhas to LPGs. Then they have been also doing community, one entire village was adopted by Infosys, wherein they had put up solar panels for generating electricity in that village. So these are the ways how they do the CSR activities. Now coming to the thresholds, wherein the CSR is mandatory. Your net worth should be more than 500 crores, or they are not, and these all these thresholds are obligatory. Either your net worth should be more than 500 crores, or your turnover should be more than 1000 crores, or your net profit should be more than 5 crores. Then the company must spend at least 2% of its average net profits of last 3 years on the activities that are mentioned in Schedule 7. Coming to NGRBC, the National Guidelines on Responsible Business Conduct, it is issued by MCA, and there are 9 core principles that promotes ethical, inclusive and sustainable business practices for any company. These include, they are readily available on Google, but briefly I would tell about them. These include conducting businesses with ethics and transparency, then providing safe and sustainable products, ensuring employee well-being, engaging responsibly with stakeholders, this 4, Then fifth one is upholding human rights, protecting the environment, advocating policies responsibly, supporting inclusive growth, and ensuring fairness and value for consumers. These principles actually, as I said, they form the base for the BARSR reporting that is under SEBI's framework. Now, chartered accountants again are critical here. We can help companies gather and validate ESG data, which is scattered and unclustered in their organization. Various departments, since various departments are involved, we can help them prepare disclosures. Even in your financial reporting, you can just put a note on these non-financial part, and we can also even provide assurance. This actually opens up a significant new avenue in ESG related services. This was about India. Let us look into the global sustainability standards also. So, speaking of global sustainability standards, a very major challenge that we are facing in sustainability reporting is that it is inconsistent and across various frameworks. But now global standards are evolving rapidly, and they are trying to, bring a unified reporting format or framework, just like IFRS. So, talking about GRI, that is Global Reporting Initiative, it is most commonly used framework all over the world, and it offers comprehensive guidelines across all the industries together. It is not industry specific. But when we, in contrast, if we look about SASB, that is Sustainability Accounting Standard Boards, it is industry specific and it is investor focused. So, but SASB is now the part of International Standards Sustainability Standards Board, which comes under the IFRS Foundation. Talking about Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosures, TCFD commonly known, it was established by the Financial Stability Board. It was established actually to develop a set of voluntary and consistent disclosures, recommendations for companies to report climate related financial risk. See, here it is integrating, climate related, but which are financial risk and opportunities that are helping investors making more informed decisions. The TCFD made it mandatory to report the climatic risk that which has an impact on the financials of your entity. So this way the investors can be, or the stakeholders, not only invested, all the stakeholders in your company, they are more informed and they can make better decisions. So TCFD focuses actually on four areas. That is, one is governance, one is strategy, another is risk management, and metrics and targets. So, and then finally talking about ISSB, International Sustainability Standards Board. This is actually set up by IFRS Foundation. This is the real big step towards global consistency, as we had done it in through IFRS for our financial reporting. The same is happening, that there would be unified standards all under one roof for the non-financial reporting also. And here, as we CAs, we need to understand we need to understand ourselves, and we need to guide businesses that which is the right framework that is more beneficial for their entity, and we should also ensure proper disclosures. Then there are assurances through ISAE 3001 and ISAE 3000 and ISAE 3410. ISAE stands for International Standard on Assurance Engagement. These standards refers to independent verification of non-financial information, specifically about ESG and sustainable disclosures. ISAE 3000 provides a broad framework for assurance on non-financial reports such as sustainability or CSR data or ESG audit or such kind of things. But On the other hand, SAE 3410, it specifically focuses on verifying greenhouse gas emissions. But together, both of them, they enhance, both the standards together, they enhance the credibility of ESG reporting. They support the regulatory and investor confidence and align disclosures with global sustainability frameworks. Let us, go ahead and we shall look into some real life case studies that had been happening around the country. In fact, I should say, let us speak about the country and the world. So, Infosys is totally carbon neutral and ESG aligned. Actually, with the Paris Agreement, Infosys had the target to go to net zero by 2000 by the year 2050, but they have already achieved it in 2020. That is like 30 years ahead. They are 30 years ahead of various peer companies or various companies in the country. They had actually taken the target and they have taken it very seriously and become net zero, as they say, in the sustainable environment. So, how did they achieve this? They achieved this through reducing emissions. Now, by reducing emissions, it implies they used more and more renewable energies in their own companies. They tried putting solar plants for their electricity usages around their companies, not only for their what for their offices, but also the plants that are allied to them. So this way they reduced their emissions. Then they had more energy efficient fixtures that were put up in their offices, their plants, which were using lesser energy for consumption. They were also promoting sustainable practices, as I said earlier, also that they had, they had what they had provided so many cooktops to the in the rural India. They had put up solar plants for electricity uh, generation in the rural India. Then comes to carbon offsetting that I was talking about. In these may be very technical jargons, but then you need to understand them. So carbon offsetting, what they did is with community projects, they adopted 1 lakh families in rural India, then wherein they had provided efficient cooktops to them so that they shift from those traditional chulhas wherein they were burning trees or burning fuels, and then there was double thing into it. They were burning fuels, and that is why the fuels were getting scarce, plus it was creating more pollution. So by provide giving 1 lakh families these cooktops, they had actually reduced so much of emission pollution to the environment, as well as they have also uh, conserved the resources, the scared resources. They all Infosys has also put up a biogas plant in southern India, wherein which was generating electric, which was also providing khad and all those things to the agricultural produce. Then rural electrification projects by solar plants. So these were the steps they had taken for carbon offsetting. Infosys, as we spoke before, there are so many frameworks. So Infosys reports their non-financial data through GRI and TCFD frameworks. Their reports are available on their websites, and you should definitely go through them to understand how these companies are working and how it may also help, maybe not on such a larger scale, but it will definitely help to your entities. It will also definitely help you to enhance your skills and to advise your companies, right? Then we come to Mahindra. So Mahindra has become totally water positive. It has become water positive by reducing water consumption, not only by reducing water consumption, but by creating water. So what they have done is in Mahindra Life Spaces, they have put up water efficient fixtures, you know, which 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 conserves water actually. Such there are such fixtures put it that it does not waste water. Then they have also put smart sensors and restrictors in Tech Mahindra, because Tech Mahindra there is so much of water consumption for creating the creating these machines and tools for your sorry creating the vehicles, and also for dry cleaning and all those things you need so much of water. So they have put up smart sensors and they have restricted water consumption. Then Mahindra Sustain uses dry cleaning robots, a very novel concept, I should say. These dry cleaning robots does not require water at all for cleaning your vehicle, for cleaning any kind of machine, for cleaning any kind of parts. So this is a very novel concept that Mahindra has been using, the dry cleaning robots. Then Mahindra is recycling and reusing water. What they have done is in their plants itself, they have created wastewater treatment plants. Like in their bigger plants, they have put up some smaller wastewater plants, and these wastewater is now treated over there. The waste that is coming out from their plants is treated in this wastewater plants uh, treatments is treated in this wastewater plants, and then this water again is being used by their main plant. So they are uh, again, this is a double concept. They are not they are not emitting this waste in the environment, and out they are also again conserving the water. Then there is rainwater harvesting in Mahindra's life spaces. They are essentially in every construction place by Mahindra life spaces. Rainwater harvesting is essentially over there. This rainwater harvesting not only conserves water, stores water, but it also recharges the groundwater. Then there are sustainable water management that Mahindra is doing. They have 100% water positive manufacturing at their Nasik plant. In the Nasik plant of Mahindra, there is they are totally water positive. As I said, that they are not wasting. They are having wastewater plant treatment plants over there, and they are reusing this treated water again and again. So in their the Nasik plant, they have declared that it is 100% water positive. Then there are rooftop rainwater harvesting in every to reduce, this reduces the external water sources. They have innovative cleaning systems such as water spray pumps or module cleaning brushes. So this way again, they are conserving water. Coming to Tata Group is working around in every sector for a sustainable environment like anything. They have been working like anything for creating a sustainable environment, not only for the earth but for the environment. Truly they are following all the three pillars, the ESG pillar things about the sustainable environment. So Tata Chemicals, they have put up 150 crore acres of biodiversity park. They have this park is in, I'm forgetting the name, it is in Gujarat. Yes, it is in Mithapur, Gujarat. And this is for conserving the endangered species. And you must definitely visit this place. This place is open for public. And here, the environment that they have created about these species, for these species, you would feel like you have come in a jungle. It is such a natural place. It looks such a natural place, but definitely it is an artificial thing. Then Tata Motors also have net zero targets. Tata projects have sustainable construction practices. What they do is on their every construction site, they have material management, they have use of alternative materials, where you have scarcity of such materials, or which harms more to the environment. Then they have alternative materials used by their construction things. Then they also have efficient waste management things. Tata Trust is taking up various CSR activities with aligned with other NGOs and government agencies, not only for the livelihood of people but also for community development. Tata Consumers Products, they have declared that they would be using 100%, they would be using the recyclable packaging, right from the uh, when you see the packaging products, the products are 100% recyclable, and they are made in such a way that even at home, if you try, you can recycle them. Like, they have created a pencil wherein after using that pencil, you don't have to throw that last bud, but you can sow it. It is a seed that is implanted in that pencil, and then there is a tree that grows out of that pencil. So these are the kind of consumer products that Tata have created. Then, talking about greenwashing, as I had mentioned before, there is also one Volkswagen Dieselgate scandal you must have heard about. What they were doing is they had manifested that we are creating such diesel models of vehicles which are 100% what non neutral carbon emissions. There is no pollution emission from their vehicles, but it was not the case. This They had installed a software which was, commonly known as defeat device. It was an illegal software that was fitted in their diesel models. What it used to do is, whenever the testing was going on for the vehicle, if it is sustainable or not sustainable, or is it following all the ESG compliances. So this software used to manipulate the amount of emissions that were produced in the environment from these diesel models. But then it was definitely taken up, and this was a very big scandal. You can read about it. While these diesel models were actually producing 40% more pollution in the environment. So they were just showing it off that their diesel models are all ESG compliant and there is no pollutant into it. But they were actually producing more, 40% more in the environment, 40% more pollutions in the environment that they were claiming of. So, despite being a global auto giant, Volkswagen had to suffer billions of losses, and also there was a deep trust deficit due to these emissions cheating, and this was definitely a clear ESG governance failure. So you can see these such kind of initiatives can help either build your reputation for a responsible leadership, or it may destroy the values and your reputation. So, if you have a responsible leadership value, definitely you would be delivering strong financial performance also. And then again and again, I would say these areas are real opportunities that chartered accountants can have. Again, here what you can do, chartered accountants can proactively assess these kinds of risk in your entities, and you can ensure that your client is more transparent, it has more ethical practices going on. You can advise them to be more vigilant about sustainability. You can mention these companies who are doing so good in these sustainability. Coming to next slide, what professional opportunities we as chartered accountants have. So there is again, in so many of my until now my presentation, I had been shouting and shouting that we have lot and lot of professional opportunities in this area. This is a very upcoming era, but with globalization you can, not only serve in India, but you can serve all over the world. And let me tell you, the world has been very, very vigilant about sustainability, and it is working like anything. There is so much of work around the world, and you get it very easily because, like other areas, chartered accountants are more reliable and cost effective for the world, and therefore they choose chartered accountants of India for such sustainable works as well. There is a growing demand for ESG assurance services. It is same assurance. ESG assurance is same just like your financial assurances, and there is a lot of demand for it. Then it is just like financial audits that you have been doing. You just have to be more aware about the ongoings in your entity, the other non-financial and operating things that are going on in the entity. You have to be more vigilant about it, more aware about it, and you have to put that data in a more structured form as you do for your financials. Actually, companies need, until now they were, the companies were working on to all these things, but now they need external validation for their non-financial data, and therefore they are looking for ESG assurance services. Then the another professional opportunity that you have is sustainability strategy consulting. How you can be more sustainable while you are earning profits, how you can have more purpose. You can provide these consultancy, like in one of our client place. They were here in Bhilai only. They were producing electricity for Bhilai steel plant, and they were actually placed in the Bhilai steel plant only. Then when we just visited them, and we were going through, it was just out of coincidence that we were passing by through the Bhilai steel plant. We had to pass by the Bhilai steel plant, and then we used to reach their plant that was set up inside the plant to manufacture electricity. And this electricity was totally supplied only to the steel plant. So it happens to see that we saw that there was so much of pollution that was happening in steel plant. So here then we just talked about it with our client, and we told them that why don't you recommend steel plant that let us put a pollution controlling plant itself in this area itself, wherein it would be calculating the carbon emissions, and the machinery would be such made that the carbon that was emitted from all this steel plant or from the manufacturing of electricity would not be emitted directly into the environment, but it would be treated and it would be lessened down. Like 100% तो वो नहीं रोका जा सकता है, but at least to the extent of 50%, 40%, the carbon emission was controlled. So it was like 3 years, 4 years back, and since last 1 year, this carbon emission control plant is working very successfully. They have reached the target of 60% lessen down the carbon emission into the environment. So this is the way you can, advise your clients, you can consult them, and then definitely there are resources that you have to pull in, and you can help them creating such models into their organizations. So this also, by these consulting, you can also help your firms identify the ESG risks that are aligned to their operations, the social, as I had mentioned about ABG group, how you can, sustain more employees, how you can keep them for a longer period, how community welfare can be done out of their products. So this is the way the consulting, strategic consulting can go. Coming to green finance, CAs can play a vital role in structuring the climatic bonds. There are lots of bonds available in the market, and you can advise your clients to invest into them so that you get more beneficial returns out of it, and these can be utilized again for your growth of your business. You can also manage carbon credits. Now carbon credits implies like हमने जो Infosys में देखा था, they had created carbon credits by setting up a solar plant, electrification plant in rural area. So one is you control the carbon emissions that your entity is doing, and another is what you do is you purchase carbon credits by doing such community activities, or purchasing carbon credits from other organizations that are doing such activities, which is lessening the carbon emissions. You can manage these carbon credit purchase and all these carbon credit emissions for your organization. You can advise on sustainable investments also. Now, for those who are, looking to specialize in this area, this is a very upcoming area, a very trending one, and definitely it is going to earn you lot of reputation as well as money, I should say. And then it would also earn mental peace for you, because this is your way to give back to the society. So if you're looking forward to, specialize into this, there are very nice certificate courses by our very own ICAI. Then there are GRI certified sustainability professional courses. There is IFRS sustainability standards courses. Even CFA is having a very good ESG module. It is very highly valuable. So you can, go through these certifications, and you can learn a lot out of it, and you can then specialize and provide services to entire globe, I must say. So chartered accountants play a critical role here. We can help and advise clients to gather the data that is, not structured, it is scattered, and you can validate these ESG data. You can prepare disclosures for them. You can even provide assurance. So definitely this opens up a very good ESG related new avenues in the ESG related services. I guess I have a question over here. Just a moment. Could please, what all things should I check in an internal audit of BRSR for NOMC? Okay, I'll do that. So coming to next slide, I'll answer the question at the end. Coming to next slide is, how do you create your sustainability toolkit? I guess the question would be answered over here. That is why I said that I would be answering it further. How do you create a toolkit for, it definitely, I call it the CA sustainability toolkit. So you have to evolve one toolkit for yourself to succeed in sustainability. It starts from very basic. It starts from collecting data, collecting accurate data from the various departments that your organization is having. I understand when your organization is very small, you don't have that structure of like, HR department, the marketing department, the sales department, there is one single person who is handling everything. But then in line, there are various departments. It is only this that it is not structured, but one single person is handling it. So every organization has various departments. And what you have to do is you have to collect the accurate data. You have to understand where actually your organization is standing. Then this ESG data should be, collected timely, not that once you have already, you have passed on that time wherein this risk was evolving, and collecting data after that would be of no use. So we need to build or work with such systems that track this ESG data collection. There should be such what you say such systems that should be created in within the organization, that track carbon emissions, that also track employee diversity. Now by employee diversity, it I mean that there should be what fair enough structure for males and female employees. So there should be fair enough what composition in the employees about male and female. There should be proper board independence also. The board of directors should not have conflict of interest. So this all, for tracking all these systems, tracking all these things, there should be a proper system created. And here we can help them creating these systems. Like you can help them creating these systems through dashboards, or such analytical tools we can advise them, wherein which visualizes ESG performances, and it also benchmarks against the peers. Then importantly, we must integrate this ESG into internal controls and audit checklists. You can put up certain questions while you are auditing, while you are having say internal audit, you are having statutory audit in your checklist, wherein you question your entities for things about about their financial performances. You should also put up these questions there about understanding their non-financial part also, their operating part also, their marketing part also. And this way, when you understand their operations, you can help them creating internal controls. Like, say, if your marketing department is, you ask them about how the process of their marketing department is going on, and then you understand that that marketing department is marketing only to a specific customer base. Like, though the product can be used by all the generations or by all the genders, but the marketing department is somewhere biased, and they are doing it only for a particular category of the customers. So this way, when you understand their operations, you can help them creating more better internal controls that ensures sustainability, and it also becomes a part of their regular governance, but not a separate. You have to see, if you create a what you say a different, altogether different system, clients would be having a hesitance for it to adapt to it, or they would take time for it. So you have to create these internal controls or these system checks in a way that they become the regular part of their routine, and it should not be a burden on them. Then you have collaboration between various departments. As I had been telling right from the beginning, that collaboration between the cross functional domains is very important. It is very important, and that all the departments work together, they are aligned to each other, they understand each other, and they work for the welfare and benefit of each department together. So this collaboration needs to be there within the departments, within the cross functional domains, and it requires coordination amongst the heads. It requires coordination amongst the employees of various departments, and this is where we can help them. Like, right now the legal department knows only about the legal work, the HR department knows only about the HR work, the operations looks after only about that. But what you can do is you can bring them all together on one platform, and you make them understand about each other's work and how working for each other would help them to grow better and to create better controls, better growth, better prosperity. What you have to do is you have to have material assessment. you can help organizations identify and prioritize ESG issues that are going on into their entity that matters most to the stakeholders. By stakeholders, you mean the employees, your vendors, your customers, and your community. So issues that are, more important, and but they have not yet foreseen that. So what you can do is you can identify them and help them prioritize and cut down these issues, and help them assess these things. Then you can create ESG scorecards. What you can do is department wise, you can create scorecards, you can create corporate dashboards which monitors the which not only identifies the issues, it also monitors the progresses. Like if you have recommended something to the HR department or the legal department, they also have that cross functional dashboard wherein they tick tick tick, okay, this done, this done, this done. They understand the progress. At the end of the month, this can be reviewed by the leader or the head of the department or by the management also. And then wherever if they are falling short, they can be helped. The next time they can be helped, or they can be assessed through why they are falling short, and then they can be helped to create better things. Also, by creating such dashboards, what you can do is you can make the teams accountable. Okay, the HR department is doing very well, but the legal department is lagging behind. So now the legal department has to come at par to the HR department. This way there can be a competition also, and there can be every team can be made accountable. So these dashboards, these analytical tools helps a lot with these ESG scorecards. Then risk mapping. You have to integrate ESG risk into the ERM systems. Actually, you can use heat maps, or you can use SWOT analysis to plan and mitigate the contingencies that may arrive in future. That, like, for financial risk, when you advise them with their financial risk, like if you do not invest into this thing, or if you, for example, for a certain equity or a share investment, you advise your client that do not invest into this particular share, but because in future maybe this may doom down. Similarly, you can also advise them on their operational risk through these heat maps or the SWOT analysis, and you can make them realize about the contingencies that may arise in future. So this way you can do a risk mapping for them. Then integrated reporting is very, very important. You have to combine all the operational, environmental, governance, and financial data together to report your a 360-degree business view. All the departments together, their risk, their progress, how they are working, this all should come on one single platform. This is the way the integrated reporting should go. Mandatory or not mandatory for your organization, again and again I would say that mandatory or not mandatory for your organization, you should start doing this at voluntarily for every of your organization. This way it would help them get prepared for future. And this, I am very, very much assured that this future is not very far, it would come soon. And that time every entity that is prepared would definitely go ahead. Then we also have various challenges and risks that are there in this sustainable environment, the business that is going for sustainability. The most important and most not important, but the major challenge that we face is that the ESG data is always it is unstructured and it is inconsistent. Things that are happening today, like as I said, your disruption in supply chain, it is happening today, but it may not happen 6 months after today. So that is why it is very inconsistent and it is very unstructured. The data is very unstructured. It is sourced from multiple systems and therefore it is not standardized. Therefore, we have to be very mindful of these challenges when you are, going for the opportunities. You have also have to understand the challenges that may come while you are collecting the ESG data, and this way it would become very important. Once you identify your risk or you identify your challenges, it would become easier for you to collate the data or to be prepared for creating the ESG audits or ESG reports. Then the regulatory frameworks, said already, that India is an underdeveloped country in this area, and therefore the frameworks that India is adopting are evolving, though they are evolving rapidly, but they are just evolving. This is definitely this is happening. It is a major challenge for India, but it is happening in India. Even globally, the standards are not yet unified. They are not on one single platform. There are so many frameworks that are there, like GRI is there, SASB is there, there is TCFD framework. So you do not, sometimes you get confused, you do not understand which framework is better, which is beneficial, which you should adopt, which you should not adopt, or adopting which one would give you more recognition. So this sometimes can become confusing, and therefore it can be, tough for companies to stay compliant also. So again, this is a very big challenge that is happening. Another big challenge is a talent gap. Right now, many professionals, even again, let me mention over here that this area is not confined only to chartered accountants. There are many other professionals also who are working into this. So, of course, it is a competition between chartered accountants and non-chartered accountants. But yes, there are so many professionals who are working into this. But then there is a definitely a talent gap. We are not actually trained very proficiently in ESG principles on the or the non-financial reporting. We are still working into it, but then of course I am not demotivating you. With time and with what with upskilling yourself, you can definitely create a better trained professional for yourself, and you can go give better services. Lastly, there is a risk of greenwashing. As I said, the greenwash, I had already explained before. Greenwashing is where companies make misleading sustainability claims. They claim, like in Volkswagen Dieselgate, we saw that they had claimed that their diesel model is totally carbon neutral and does not emit any carbon in the environment. But on the other hand, it was creating 40% more pollution in the environment. So this greenwashing happens. And since we are so trusted advisors, we should help companies to remain authentic and transparent um, towards the environment rather. And they we should, advise our companies that be ethical and follow the ethical principles. So this greenwashing is actually a very big ethical dilemma that is there. Coming to next is the road ahead. So the road ahead that we have is, now sustainability is not any longer a peripheral. It is becoming a core component of financial performance and risk management. It is integrating your financial as well as non-financial data and your performance, and definitely management has to look into it very importantly. With global efforts to unify standards, like I spoke about ISSB, which is working the way IFRS have been working for financial audits, we are moving towards consistent ESG disclosures, and therefore uh, it is important that we understand all these various global frameworks and we work onto it. So for chartered accountants, this is definitely a defining moment, and we can lead this transition by ensuring that sustainability becomes a core part of our learning, as well as we imbibe this in our clients also. We imbibe this in the company's reporting. We advise them for the governance, and we advise them for strategies. How do we do this? We can do this by, very first basic things comes is let us understand. There may have been so many technical jargons that I have been using in my entire presentation. I tried to be very simple, but yes, there had been technical words which you may not be understanding right now, but you can understand them by, upskilling yourself, by reading about it, by understanding about it. There are so many nice platforms wherein the certificate courses uh, are there, which are available online as well as which are available at a very cheaper rate. You understand right from basics into it. Then there are such platforms like Harvard Online. Believe me, it is one of its kind. It is so comprehensive and so nicely and simplified place that you understand it very well, and you understand the global part of sustainability into it. Our own ICAI certificate course on BRSR is also a very good thing to start with. Then CFA Institute has ESG certification. So by enrolling into these certifications, you can upskill yourself, you can enhance your skills, you can understand these things, and you can then talk about it. Then, as I said, cross functional collaboration wherever you are working right now, make it a point that you and your finance team should coordinate with all the departments of that organization. They should go spend at least 2 hours with every department the very first day of your work. When your working starts, you should spend 2 hours in every department. For the diversity of employees, you can go to HR. For the waste management or for energy efficiency or for energy consumption, you can go to the operations department. For the green messaging or for providing what advisories to, green promotions of your entity, you can go to marketing department. So this way there should be a cross functional collaboration. Definitely your team should definitely talk with all the departments, understand the operations right from grassroots, and try to integrate this in your financial reporting. Then strategic integration has to be there. You talk about the companies that are already driving sustainability innovations, how they are more, the entrant, how they are the pioneers of the market, how they are going ahead of their peers, how this is helping their businesses, how it is promoting and prospering, how it is also cost efficient. So this all should be, strategically put up in the organization's mind, in the management's mind. Encourage people to lead not just in compliance, but also, make them understand that your business should be value driven, it should be ethical, it should be transparent. Speak about the ESG at AGMs, at board meetings, about when you are doing the client review, talk about it. And you can be the one, the first one to bring sustainability into the boardroom. जस्ट वो जो बोलते हैं ना, एक एक वर्ड कान में तो डाल दो. Definitely the client would come back to you because he knows that you are aware of this thing. Otherwise, if you don't market yourself, you don't make them aware that you are also actually working into this, how will they know? You don't have to be, change the world in a day. What you can do is you can start from reducing waste in their offices. You can make this a part of their routine. You can talk about it in the client reviews, or you can put these questions in the checklist where, or the requirement list that you are giving them. So this every brick, can create a bridge between a better future between you and your client. If you are a practicing chartered accountant, what you can do is you can encourage ESG assurance, you can create advisories for ESG, you can help clients to design CSR strategies, you can draft ESG aligned financial statements, as I have been saying. Even if your client is not in that mandatory purview, what you can do is you can put a brief overview about the ESG part of that organization in their financial formats also. If you are a CA or a CFO, what you can do is you can create a ESG KPI in your organization. You can align budget for sustainable goals, or for creating a community welfare projects, or doing the CSR activity. Then you can communicate ESG metrics in your financial reporting. So you can be a good, impactful leader as a finance head. Now, to further learning, I should say today, just make one ESG goal for yourself and for your organization, for your client as well. Just one ESG goal can be a very basic one. Here, if we can take up, like, I would pledge that I would reduce printing of documents at my office. I would try to, use social media, or, sorry, not social media. I would try to use online platforms for the documentation part of my office. So this is the way you can start with the resources. And further learning, you have IFRS Sustainability Hub, you have GRI standards, you have SEBI BRSR guidelines, you have a ICI certification course. This way you can upskill and upgrade yourself. To conclude with, I would like to say that sustainability is represents a significant risk if you ignore it. But if you embrace it, definitely it is a massive opportunity. Let me see if I have some questions over here. Okay. Okay, so hi Simran, as you are saying, when doing an internal audit, what things you need to check? I hope I have already answered your question. It's like when you are auditing, put up checklists, put up questions like about the employee diversity, about the carbon emissions that your company is doing, or about the male female composition, or about any social activities that they are taking up, or have they been taking up the have they been managing carbon credits, do they have investments, which are more ESG friendly, or do they have investments from others which are pulled from ESG funds. If we have any other question. Okay, so since there are no more questions, I would like to conclude by saying that our role as chartered accountants is expanding from compliance to stewardship. Let's drive business towards value beyond profit. And we are not just the strategy enablers, but we are the catalyst of change in a sustainable future. Thank you once again for your attention and participation. I hope this session sparked ideas and insights you can carry forward in your practice. I would like to thank WIRC for considering me on this topic, and special thanks to CA Abhishek Damne and Chairman CA Ketan Sayaji, CA Shweta Jain, Shweta ma'am, for introducing me to this WOW series. Thank you so much. Over to you, Nasha. Oh, wait, I do have one more question. Could you please share any generic checklist? See, it depends on the framework that you are following. If you're following TCFD or if you're following GRI. But yes, if you look for BRSR reporting, it is a very comprehensive checklist that you can use, and just drop down your mail ID, Simran, on my mail ID, and I would share the checklist with you. So my mail ID is this. It is capayal.karnavat@gmail.com. Just drop down your mail ID over here, and I would definitely share the generic checklist with you. So thank you so much. Over to you, Nasha.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this insightful session. We learned a lot about DRSR reporting, sustainability standards, and we are very happy that you shared us your contact details and email ID so that we can actually connect with you and get back for any probably further discussions required. I think CA Ishita is also planning to give her closing comments on the same. So over to her if she's available.
Thank you, Nasha. Good evening, everyone. Hi, this is CA Ishita Visarya here, and it is my privilege to offer a vote of thanks for today's insightful session. A huge thank you to CA Payal Jain ma'am for today's session and for sharing such a wonderful and knowledgeable information on sustainable environment and business responsibility in such a engaging and relatable way. Your words have sparked new thoughts and gave us a fresh perspective on the subject. Thank you for the technical team for smooth coordination and to all the members who joined us. And I'm also thankful for WRC for over.
Technical team, can I leave?
I think there's some issue in the audio, ma'am. So I think we can leave
Yeah.
for the
Okay.
day. Yes.
Thank you so much, Nasha.